Have you ever felt like you just don't have enough time in the day? Like all the time just seems to be slipping through your fingers. Well, in this video, you'll leave with 2 tools on how to become a more effective, more efficient person and to get more done in a shorter amount of time than before. See, a lot of us, we struggle with allowing all sorts of things to take over our attention, to distract us. Before we know it, we look up and we don't have any time anymore. I'll never forget the day where I came home and the first thing I did was go to my bedroom, sit down on the floor, leaning on my bed, and I took out my phone, Instagram. At the time, I was following meme account after meme account. So I got on Instagram, I started scrolling, looking for something to make me laugh. I went through this constant loop of being put in the roulette, put in the wheel, the slot machine, where I'm rolling, and boom, I get a jackpot. I look up, and it's been 3 hours that's gone by. I know I'm not the only one who's had that happen to them. So how do we stop this? First of all, I want you to think about a concept of time blocks. When you think of time blocks, think about how you can have multiple days in one day. For example, I have a 6-hour window, a 6-hour day, I have another 6-hour day, and then I have a 4-hour day. And then the rest of the time is dedicated to sleep and recovery. For example, your first hour or your first window, your first day inside your day, let's say that's dedicated to physical, mental, spiritual. This is the self-improvement, the self-development block. And then let's say the following window, maybe it's 8 hours, maybe it's 10 hours. Whatever you need to do in order to make this effective for you, let that be the time that you go to work. Maybe it's the time I work on the sales business. So for a 6-hour window, this is what I'm doing. Then the last window, the last day inside my day is going to be where I record videos, I make content, I practice violin. That's going to be the time where I spend time with the loved ones. So as an example, you can take this format or make your own format and then make it to where it applies to you. So that way it decreases the friction instead of increasing it. The second that we increase the friction on, especially something that's new, is the moment we shoot ourselves in the foot. Keep it as far from complex as possible, as simple as possible, so that it's easy to implement. The second concept, this is super short, super simple, straight to the point, designed for you to take this and execute immediately. The second concept I want you to think about is making a plan. Painfully simple, but many of us don't have a plan. We don't know exactly what we're going to do at the moments that we wake up. So what do we end up doing? We fill those dead moments with distraction, with comfort, with pleasure, and we turn out with wasted time. So when we make a plan, and when we know for sure, okay, as soon as I wake up, I'm going to pray. As soon as I wake up, I'm going to read. I'm going to work out. As soon as we know that, then there's a direction. Then we can start creating momentum. It's better that we do that so that we can have lasting momentum to where it carries us into this task after this task, with a concept called habit stacking from Atomic Habits. When you create one situation where you execute on a given task and you have another habit that's, say, in close proximity, so all you have to do is go from this to that, that's how we create momentum. That's how we create that snowball effect. So over time, we keep stacking up and stacking up. Consistent action, momentum after momentum, and we're increasing our compounding returns so that we gain more and make more progress faster. So a couple questions that you can ask yourself whenever you're making the plan, whenever you're setting up these time blocks, is what are my objectives here? What am I looking to gain in this window? On top of that, what are the priorities? If there's multiple things inside of the window, what takes priority over another task? What needs to be done first? Here's another one. What identity am I forging? What identity am I stepping into when I maintain this action? These are just 3 simple questions, and I encourage you to come up with more so you have greater detail in the fact that I know for sure what I'm getting out of this. I know for sure what I'm going to do, why I'm doing this, so that way whenever the friction comes from life, not the friction that you create, but whenever stuff shows up to throw you off, you have a bunch of answers already waiting for you. Whenever that voice of doubt, weakness, that despair, that whatever is thrown at you to take you off track, you have, boom, this is why I'm doing this. This is why I have to keep this rolling. I have to keep this implemented. So I know for a fact that if you take these 2 simple concepts and you implement them in your life, you'll see benefits, results that you haven't been seeing before. You get more done. You'll be a more effective, more efficient person overall, and it will lead to results that maybe were evasive at first. So if you made it to this part in the video, I really appreciate you. Like, comment, subscribe, comment what you're going to do in your time blocks. Comment like what's your identity that you're forging? What are you gaining? What change are you going to make? And at the same time, if you would like more, but in a shorter form, I have a newsletter called at thevoiceofstrength.com where you get 1-minute reads at 6 in the morning every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday to start your day off right. And until now, and with that being said, I'll see you in the next video. Adios for now.